quickly jump from... There's a Kenyan who is observing things in the UK. I want to jump to Mukami, who is in the UK. Mukami,
he better come with solutions.
But then the last time Mukami also offered us some solutions.
Yeah,
sponsorship.
When she was in Cameroon.
Yes, and how it works. So Mukami, what have you seen so far, and what is your view?
And what can work?
Before we speak, your view first of all on the whole debacle of the games that are coming. Will we be ready? Will we be not? And then of course you can tell us everything that you've experienced so far in the UK. Lucky you are that your team won. But before that, yes, tell us.
You guys have been listening to the conversation, and I think one of the things you notice when you travel is the sort of facilities that are all around. And on Friday, I was at the Etihad Stadium, and when you're walking towards the Etihad, there's a whole other stadium, and then I was being told that's the Academy Stadium. So you can imagine their Academy Stadium is better than Kasarani and Nyayo Stadium combined. You're looking at the seating, it has boxes, it has a place for media, and you know, in your head you're like, this is the Academy. So it just takes you back to like Kenya, and you know, figuring out what's happening. Nyayo Stadium took years to renovate. The only thing that came out of it is a VIP area. So it's a little bit frustrating, but we're hoping things will change. I loved Arocho's analogy of the house is being cleaned. Now if guests come, there's nowhere to sit. The karatasis everywhere. The house is messy. So we'll just have to give them time. I think Ivory Coast is, you know, we can just write that off. But let's focus on the big English Premier League weekend. I don't think there was a better weekend to come to the UK and watch the games, because there are so many races being decided, you know, or like there are so many races up in the air being juggled, you know, the title race, there was the top 4 race, and then obviously the relegation battle. And, you know, the first game I managed to watch was Liverpool versus Spurs. And, you know, Arsenal fans out there, myself included, will not like what they have to hear, but you cannot compare the atmosphere at Anfield to the atmosphere at Emirates. You know, that Liverpool versus Spurs game, they have a Russia. I'd say Liverpool, the same way Gor Mahia, they used to have Russia at City Stadium and Nyayo Stadium. Just people who are just making noise the entire game. That's the COP, and they're just standing. They did not sit down at any point during that match, and they're just chanting and singing. So the atmosphere was really electric. Watching some of these players like that, I'm seeing Mane's over there throwing. Because even at the African Cup of Nations, I didn't get seats as good as that. And it was just something else. Seeing people coming to Anfield for the first time, like Liverpool fans, I managed to talk to a few of them. And there was two couples there on their honeymoon. I'm sure their husbands dragged them. I don't know how long those marriages will last. But it was just a really incredible experience. I'm very glad that Liverpool did not lose, because obviously they were playing Spurs, and you know, the atmosphere had really dipped up until that equalizer. And I think for Liverpool now, they can just begin to concentrate on the top 4 on the Champions League, because City yesterday took charge of the title race. You know, a 5-0 win against Newcastle, which means they've also lifted their own goal difference, and they're ahead of Liverpool both on points and on goal difference, and it's only 3 games to go. And now that's all Kina City are playing for. I think they're really going to focus on that. What else? The top 4 race, Arsenal versus Leeds. It was a really interesting game. I think Arsenal played well the first half, and then the second half. It's so funny to hear the frustrations of Arsenal fans both here. It's like in Kenya and in the UK, it's the same. They're different people, but then the frustrations are still the same. I managed to talk to some of the fans. Let's listen into what they had to say.
Yeah, it was a good game. We made it hard in the end, but we got there in the end, so that's all that matters.
First half was really good. Second half was a bit nervous, but in the end we held on for the points. That was important. And I think for me, I've come all the way from Dubai to see this game, so it was, you know, a really good experience all in all.
We played well enough, but I think we should have been 3-4-0 up at half-time, especially with 2 goals in 10 minutes and then a red card. But that's Arsenal, we always make it tough for ourselves. So.
As it was my first time here at the Emirates Stadium, and I absolutely loved it from the first second of the match. And yeah, we were 2-0 up in the 10th minute with one man down, so I couldn't have...
So you've had it from them, you know, it's one of those where, like with Arsenal, you know, the saying goes, it's the hope that kills you. So it might be 3 games to go. They're 4 points ahead. They're playing Spurs, which means on Thursday, which means even if Arsenal lose to Spurs, they're still 1 point ahead with 2 games to go. So their fate is in their own hands. But you never know what can happen. The North London derby is always heated. Kane may not have been doing very well this season compared to his previous few seasons, but at the North London derby he's always dangerous, so that'll be a game that will be exciting to watch for all of those involved. And if Arsenal can win, they all but secure themselves a top 4 place. As for Leeds, it looks like they're going to have to take it down to the wire in terms of the relegation battle. Everton won 2-1 against Leicester City, which lifted them out of the relegation zone. They're 1 point clear and they have a game in hand. So for Leeds and Burnley, it's tentative right now. They're on the same points, 34 points, but Leeds have a worse goal difference. They have minus 37, Burnley have minus 17, and now they're without their central defender Ayling after he got the red card, and Stuart Dallas, the right back, after he broke his leg. So I love that it's going down to the wire, down to the last final games of the season, all the races. Nothing has really truly been decided, and I think that makes the English Premier League what it is. It's really interesting to watch. So yeah, it was a great weekend, guys. Like, what can I say? If anyone gets a chance to just come to these stadiums, I know Shitera has been to Chelsea. It's just one of a kind, watching the players up close and, you know, the atmosphere around, meeting people from all over the world. It's been quite an experience.
Thank you very much for coming.